Hi, welcome to Into the Legit Darkness. I'm still waiting on my guest, but tonight we are. There she is.
Hey, surprise.
Surprise. Um, you know, um, we're actually going to talk. I mean, I've always talked to, and we are running a little bit late. Sorry, it's my fault. It's always my fault. I'm flighty sometimes, you know me. But anyways, I do want to say that we were always talking about male serial killers, but we never ever get to talk about female serial killers.
hmm
I know. Um, well, think about it. It's like all the men running around town, like becoming
Right.
serial killers. No.
That would be cool.
No, it's not. It's not
I'm
cool
just
by any
kidding.
means. So tonight we're going to talk about Arlene Warnos, and she also went by Lee. If you guys don't know, the movie Monster was based on her life.
Yes,
Um,
it was.
I liked the movie. When I first seen it, I never actually thought that it was a real movie, like based
You
on
did?
a real story. I didn't. I didn't. I just like,
Oh,
picked
I
it up
did.
at the store one day, and I was like, "This looks like it could be good."
That's cute.
And then I was very engrossed in it. So, if we'll just kind of give you a little rundown really quickly, and then we'll just kind of get into it. So basically, she was the hooker, prostitute, whatever you want to call her. She called herself a call girl, high end call girl. Okay,
Right.
but I guess if you're hitchhiking, you can't really. Is it like high end?
That's not high. High end is when they call you at your house and you're like, okay, be there in
Well,
an hour. not, not, hey.
okay,
A little different.
so she actually did kill her victims, basically to rob them. But she was hitchhiking. So, but there's like a whole story that goes into that. So let's start
Right.
like with her early childhood, and maybe we can kind of dissect like why she was the way that she was. I mean, if you think
Let's
about
do
it.
it.
Okay, so when she was younger, as you know, because I know that I've made her do so much
Oh
this
my
last week. And she's like in the middle of a move. So I was like, this is what we're doing. Um, sorry. I
It's
said
all
it.
good.
I had to make that joke real quick. So, anyways,
I enjoy
earlier in her life, her mom didn't want her, kind of gave her to her parents when she was 4 years old, her and her brother.
it.
And she never got to meet her dad because her dad was actually a sex offender who he raped, I believe, a 7-year-old girl. It was somewhere in there. And he kind of hung himself in prison. So she really didn't.
Are we sure that she never met her dad, or was
That's
she just too young to remember him?
allegedly, she
Allegedly.
allegedly, they claim that she didn't get to meet her dad. But I do know
Yeah.
that he was a sex offender, and he did kill himself in prison.
I only asked that because I wonder if he did something to her, and that's why
As far
she
as
was
I
given up.
know, no. It was just kind of one of those things. He was in prison. The mom didn't really want to deal with, probably being a parent. It didn't really give I couldn't really find out why she didn't
Right.
want her. And it just is what it is. But she gave custody of, we'll call her Lee. Well, Arlene Warnos, we'll call her Lee because she went by Lee.
That's fine.
And then her brother was
Mhm.
given to the grandparents as well.
Yeah. Wow.
So I did hear, and allegedly, that the grandparents were kind of strict. They were alcoholics. The grandma passed away. The grandpa said that it was her fault that her grandma passed away, even though she was an alcoholic and she died of some kind of liver
Right.
something going on.
But
So,
it was her fault.
well, I mean, Anybody,
Allegedly.
allegedly, but anybody could be an alcoholic at the end of the day. But
That's true.
that doesn't mean that there's, an issue. Maybe the grandma was always an alcoholic. We don't know.
True.
I do know her grandpa would beat her with a belt for skipping school, which that's crazy. Um, I guess he just beat her. So
Yeah.
he kicked her out of the house when she got pregnant, and she went and she had a little boy, but she was 14
And
years
she
old.
was 14. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But in that,
Terrible.
but before that too, though, she was selling her body for cigarettes and like loose change.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
That's crazy.
I mean, I don't know, and I'm just gonna say selling her body. I don't know because there was when I did watch the trial, there was a couple guys who were like, "Oh, well, yeah, I was doing this with her and I was doing that with her." And one guy claimed, "Oh, I was dating her, but I didn't want anybody to know." It's like a secret relationship.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are always fun.
Secret lovers.
Yes. Um, but anyway, she had this little boy that she gave up for adoption, and
Hmm.
he sent her to live in the woods
Maybe
right down by her
that
house.
might have been a good thing
Well,
that she gave him up for adoption.
yeah, but well, I mean, she was 14. I mean, if she was kicked out of the
Oh
house, I
yeah.
mean, where's she gonna raise that
Yeah.
baby?
Could you imagine that being on the street and pregnant at age 14? I wouldn't know what to do at that age.
I mean, because they're not really given the resources. I mean, she could have. I mean, you're right. It probably was the best thing for her to give up her, and she had a little boy. But I don't. I tried to dig into that a little bit more, but I think it was a closed adoption, so I'm not sure if he is still alive or what the deal is because
Yeah.
I tried, but I wasn't going to get any answers on that one.
All right.
But she was living in the woods down by her house. Now, mind you, this
Hmm.
is Michigan because I thought it was Ohio. I don't know why I had Ohio on my mind earlier. It's,
Michigan, you say, huh?
it's Michigan.
Do 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 do. Somebody might be there tonight. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, you would assume like Michigan is going to get cold in the winter. I mean,
It does.
she was sleeping in cars, and she did say that she only had one pillow and one little blanket, and she was sleeping in cars.
Wow. I don't know how she didn't freeze to death. It must have been a warm winter.
Well, not only that, but she was, obviously when she only knew how to sell her body, so of course, like if she could,
Or,
you know, catch her eye and do whatever it is that she's doing in the car with these men, because that's all she knows how to do at this point.
right.
She could probably get a hotel, but I don't know. I mean, we got to remember back then you probably didn't need an ID to get a hotel. Now you need like an
Mhm.
ID, a credit card, a DNA sample, all that kind of stuff.
I know, right?
A debit
Yes.
card used. I don't know.
Unless you're a celebrity, then you can make up any name you want and put
Right.
it in there.
But what I'm saying is that would be different if she could get a hotel. But I guess that these
Right.
guys that she, was picking up, I should say, and they would take her to a hotel. That was the only way that she was able to even get herself washed up. Or there was like, I think they called it a Circle K. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was a Circle K that she was able to go wash herself in. I mean, you're 14, 15 years old. I mean,
I always wondered how hoes do that, but I'm I'm sorry, prostitute
prostitute.
or call girls without the phone. Some call girls.
Well, they didn't have cell phones back then. I mean, not be
That's what
well.
I'm
I mean, they could
saying.
have. I mean, but like we're talking like 1989 to 1990. Okay, in that time
Yeah,
frame, you know.
I'm trying to think, were pagers out then?
Okay, well, actually, she was born in 1956, so I don't, I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, I remember having a pager, but I don't think they're gonna pick up a phone and like page her and be like, hey, like, okay, that's
I
not
don't
even
know. You
funny.
never know.
I
There were
don't,
ways to page people and turn it upside down and it spelled words.
I know, I used to have one.
See, everybody did that.
I know. And then I was dating a guy who like used to tell me like through little messages, I love you. I'm like, okay, cool.
Right?
Um,
See, she's like, okay,
that was
okay,
way
cut
back
off
in the
my dick.
day.
Right? I get it.
And then it's like the picture
So,
always running someplace to like call somebody on top of it. It's like, why did you page me? But that's
right,
besides the point.
right. So she's sleeping in cars
She is sleeping. She was sleeping in cars when she was younger. Yes.
in
Um,
Michigan.
yes. Then she decided to move to Colorado. Okay. She hitchhiked to Colorado. All right.
That's a long drive.
I
And
know.
Colorado isn't any warmer with the mountains.
I don't know. She got a DUI in Colorado.
I don't mean to laugh, but I guess she had nothing better to do. It was cold. She was trying to keep warm. No, I do not condone
No.
that.
Um, but she
Terrible.
ended up getting married. Okay. And this is what
Mhm,
baffled me. This marriage
mhm.
lasted 4 weeks. Now, mind you, he is a 64-year-old man that she beat with his own cane.
Will I not make it to heaven if I laugh? That's messed up.
I mean, his
That is so
own
messed up.
cane. I mean, you would
Right.
assume in that before that marriage, she was probably, I mean, she couldn't have been that nice.
He probably couldn't defend himself that well either.
We don't technically know that, but if somebody was going to beat me with my own cane, which mind you, I do not have one, I'm going to try to beat that person with my cane back, to be honest with you. But maybe he
Well, I
was
would
a weaker
too, but
person. I don't really know.
I mean, yeah, he probably was. I mean, if anything, he had a weak leg somewhere, unless he just thought it was cute to walk around with a cane. Maybe he's a pimp daddy.
Yeah, but let's face facts. Okay, he's like 64 years old and she's probably in her 20s or maybe early 30s. So of course he's like, "Oh, well, I got somebody hot." Because I'm sure back in the day she was actually a very nice looking woman compared to what we've seen on interviews. You're like, I don't know.
True. Right.
Okay.
That's true.
So then she goes to Florida, and this is where it all happens in Florida.
Hmm.
She meets up with Tyra Moore at a biker bar. Because remind you, she's still like prostituting herself out.
Right.
Um, so Tyra and her, she met Tyra at a biker bar. I guess it could have
Hmm.
been love at first sight. Now we got to remember at the end of the day, she only killed men. She never killed any
Right.
women. She never killed any woman. It's like she just hated men. And I'm wondering if that
Right.
actually stemmed from her abuse as a child.
Right.
I don't know what you think on that, but that's just kind of what I think. Like if, you know,
I I think not only was it from her abuse as a child, but I also think the abuse that she got as a hooker.
okay, but
I'm not
let's
good. I'm not good with names.
okay, but hang on for a second. Okay. So we're gonna say I don't know how much hookers charge. I really honest to godly don't.
I have no idea
I have
either.
no idea. Okay. I have no idea. I don't know the pay
Me-
scale on that and how things work. Okay. It didn't really give me
Yeah.
a description on that, and I kind of didn't really want to know. Well, and
Exactly.
my well, kind of did because I'm like, okay, well, like what kind of services did she offer? Um,
Right.
um, but again, in the movie, I think they just kind of made it up as they went because they probably didn't know either, unless. But we're gonna get to that movie thing in just a little bit because it kind of ties
Right.
into all that. So she meets up with Tyra Moore, who is a woman, and they do fall in love with each other. Now,
Hmm.
Tyra Moore was working as a maid in a hotel. So she did have money coming in.
Yes, she did.
But
She.
but they were living out of hotels.
That was something I didn't understand.
Well,
Maybe they have bad credit.
I mean, I have no idea.
I'm just guessing
But
what
you
would
would
keep
assume
them
that
from
they're
getting a real place.
yeah, but if you would assume that both of their incomes together at this point before, she started killing men, that they would have
Right.
had a decent amount of income, but I did hear that they did drink it away and drink it away and drink it away.
Yeah.
Now,
There you go.
I do want to say, and I kind of want to back up just a little bit because now it just kind of came to me. They did claim, and this is just alleged because I'm having a really hard time believing this, and I know you and I had this conversation earlier today. They were
Hmm.
claiming allegedly that she was sleeping with her brother.
Yeah.
I'm having a
Yeah.
really, really hard time believing that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm the one who, because I've been abused in the past,
Mhm.
like it's hard when people don't believe you if it really happened.
Okay,
So it's
but
one of those things like did it or didn't it?
okay, so okay, I like I said, when I wanted to back that up just a little bit because I did forget about that when we were talking about her early
Mhm.
childhood. The the friends were saying that that happened. Now, how good of
Okay.
friends? She never, as far as I know, in any interview, because she said they don't know me, and I can
Yeah,
kind of guarantee they probably didn't know her as well as they think that they've known her. You know what I mean? Like,
I got you.
you know, so because she was very concerned during, these people coming in and testifying
Right.
that they didn't really know who she was and how her family life was. I think there was really only one witness that claimed that she actually seen her grandpa beating her with a belt. Like,
Yeah.
because they were skipping school. Okay, like let's be honest, I skipped school. I knew how to skip school. Um, but I wouldn't have gone back to my house. I mean, but it took a little bit to get when this
Right.
was in high school, okay? And
Right.
I had to pass through all these things plus security guards or whatever you wanted to call them, and then try to sneak out. And there was always one in the parking lot. And it's like you had to pass from like, I don't know, 3 days ago when you technically left. It was a whole process. Took about a half hour to get out of that school.
Right. Right.
So back then I'm sure it was just like, oh, I'll just walk out. It's not a big deal. So she did get caught because she went back home.
Yeah.
I don't, but that's besides the point. So we're gonna go back to Tyra
Yeah.
Moore. Okay, I just wanted to get that out there because
That's fine. That's fine.
I did forget. My bad. So they were drinking, and I think that's
Lady.
pretty much where all. I am a little flighty tonight. Um, I think that's why that's probably where half of their money went.
Hmm.
So the first
Yeah. Most
victim
likely.
that she had, and if you watch the movie, she claims that she was raped,
Right.
and he did come up with this whole story, by the way, that he was using peroxide and just basically just ripping her a new one, beating her, and stuff like that. And we've all seen it. If you guys have seen the movie, you guys will understand what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
But we're gonna find out that we'll talk about that story in just a little bit. So, anyways,
Right.
then she kills him, right? But then she takes his money
Mhm.
and she takes his car.
Yeah. It's like she makes decisions that aren't making sense.
No, exactly. She's not making any. But this is
Right.
the weird thing. How are you going to take somebody's car? Okay, fine, rob them. Okay, I get it.
Right, but their whole car.
Oh, she took the whole car, but then she's dumping these cars and she's really good
Yeah,
at
of
like
course.
getting your fingerprints off of these cars.
They must have went to the car wash, got them detailed,
I don't
and then just left it there. I would. I'm just saying. Oops, I
okay,
just told on myself. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
don't go to the car. Don't take her advice like at all. Do
Don't
not go
take
to the
me to
car.
the
Do
car
not
wash.
take her advice. She would not
Right.
tell anybody. But anyways, so she takes his car back and she's telling her girlfriend Tyra here, it's a friend's car. It's my friend's. What friend?
Yeah, the one she killed.
I don't think they're really friends.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, so that wasn't her friend.
Okay. But Tyra testified in court. She said, well, we were just watching TV and she said that she killed somebody. Um,
Like it was nothing.
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
she killed.
okay, so yeah,
Maybe they were drunk when it happened.
they were,
Like
she
so
said
she
that
was
they were
with
drinking and she said that she
they,
didn't believe it. Okay. But hear me out on this. If I was dating somebody and I went to them and I said, I killed somebody, that person's going to look at me and say, wait, what did you just say?
exactly. Exactly. And the chances of them staying with you is slim to none. But Tyra, she
She
she was
chugged
right
on
there
through.
by her. Even
So,
though even though she set her up, but we'll talk about that later.
so like I said, so she waited like a month, like a cooling off period. I guess that there's, I was watching this thing on like criminals, and they actually say that usually like serial killers will like do a cooling off period, and I'm like how, like I guess she took a month off.
Hmm.
Took a
I
month off,
mean,
like took a month off from killing somebody.
she went on vacation
You can't go on vacation from killing somebody. It doesn't work like
from
that.
murder. Well, to them they can because their minds are messed up.
Right. And I understand that, but I mean,
I
no,
mean, I
like,
would take a vacation too if I was killing people because I don't want them to catch me. Like, I gotta stop at some point, or they're gonna eventually catch up to me. Gotta stop, wait, go to another state, or you know, another guy, and there you go.
okay, but my thing of the matter is, and I know this is not a laughing matter because it really isn't, but I cannot wrap my head around the fact that every time she decided then she is going to hitchhike because she's like, well, I picked my next victim. Well,
Hmm.
okay. So she took him to the woods, right? She's
Yes,
killing them, and then she's claiming that she was raped, but really in all actuality she was just robbing them of their money and their cars.
right,
Like,
right.
and this is what, okay, so if Tyra had a job, right, as a maid at a hotel, okay,
Hmm. Right,
why not just stop being a prostitute?
exactly. Well, that I mean, but that was all she knew.
And I understand what you're saying, but okay, if you killed the first person, maybe you shouldn't be going to kill the next people, because at the same time, she may have been making more money hooking.
Than killing and robbing.
Okay, but if you're killing and robbing, you're going to make more money. I mean, she was already in trouble for like robbing a convenience store for $35 and a pack of cigarettes.
Jeez,
I
she must
mean,
have been drunk. I hope she was drunk for that little amount.
for
It's not worth
$35.
going to
Yeah,
jail for.
she spent like a year in jail for like $35 and a pack of cigarettes, honestly.
Wow.
Eh,
Well, back then $35 was probably a lot.
well, I mean, of course it was, and I'm sure cigarettes were cheaper, but I guess if she, was hooking and she was I do not condone that by any means. I really don't.
Right, I
Um,
don't either.
but that's just the way that it kind of was, and that's what she did. Because you're right, that's the only thing that she knew how to do was sell her body. She didn't really actually ever
Right,
have a real job. I mean, when she was younger, I mean, she was like basically prostituting herself for loose change and cigarettes.
right,
I
right.
mean, you're
Just
right.
to get by.
Yeah. I mean, how else is she going to really get by? I mean, at 14 years old, I mean, I don't know any 14-year-old. I mean, I think you have to be 15 to even get a work
Right.
permit here now. I don't know any 14
Yeah,
year
but
old
at
that was,
14,
yeah, there
yeah, there's
wasn't
not
much you
much
could
you can do.
do.
True.
But then instead of like just kicking her out, why not give her up for adoption or something on that order?
Yeah. Uh, you would think they would have, but
Or somebody would have said, okay, well, this person's living in the woods. I mean, because she dropped out of school. I mean, you would think the school would be like, there's something going on.
right.
Because
She must
nowadays,
have covered
if
it
it,
up really well.
well, I'm sure she did. But again, robbing and for
Killing.
cars, and let's say, okay, but let's say that one of these guys only had like $5 in his wallet after he paid her. I mean, she's not going to get very far besides a set of wheels.
Well, that's true, but she said in the end that she did it because she didn't want to leave any witnesses.
And you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
she
No
didn't.
matter how much money she got,
But
I guess.
here's the thing, she wasn't actually having sexual intercourse with the guys that she was killing anyways. She was taking them out there
Right.
and killing them. And I know that they said that it was some they said that they were having a hard time identifying the killer because the body was out there their bodies were out there for so long in Florida heat. The
Wow.
temperature wasn't right.
Oh yeah, the more heat you have, the
Mm-hmm.
more distortion you have.
Right.
And viewers, we are not trying to teach you how to murder.
No, I'm not in the mood for that. Um, I wouldn't know how to murder somebody if I tried, to be quite honest with you, and that's the truth. And I wouldn't even, honestly, I can't even hurt a bug. Okay, I just can't do that. Because
Yeah.
those little roly poly bugs are like outside, and I'm like, oh, here we go. They're cute
Oh my
in a
gosh.
weird way. I don't know.
You are so flighty.
I know I am.
One day you like a bug, next day you don't.
Maybe a butterfly comes by. But
Right?
anyways,
Make up your mind.
back to this case. So they actually, this is the crazy thing. She was actually taking some of the stuff from people's cars and pawning it.
Right. Like
Then
nowadays you couldn't get away with that.
no, absolutely not. Because I think
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I've never pawned anything, so I've only watched like Pawn Stars, and I'm like, they said that they got to hold it for so many days. I don't really know what that means. Whatever.
Let me tell you how it works. What they do is when they get something from somebody, they make them sign a paper saying that it's not stolen or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then what they do is they run that through a registry
Mm-hmm.
with the police department to find out if it's been stolen. If it matches, you're in trouble.
Well, I learn something new every day.
There you go. And I've never done it, but there you
I
go.
mean, I'm just saying, like what I've watched, in my free time. Um,
Right.
I think it's called hardcore pawn is what I watch because I think I like the drama in there because they're
I
all
know
fighting with each
exactly what
other.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're pretty
okay,
cool.
I know. So, anyways, they end up crashing this car that Lee has stolen at this point, in
Right.
somebody's yard.
Of all places.
I mean, you would assume that if you're stealing cars, you probably should know how to drive them first. Again,
Exactly. Like,
I mean, I know
maybe
it's
have
not a joke, but they could have been in an argument, they could have been drinking, they could have whatever. So they crashed into somebody's yard. The woman got a description, and for some apparent reason, I'm not sure, they found this guy's stuff at the pawn shop, and that's pretty much how basically Mornos, well, Lee was
Lee.
basically, yeah, Lee was caught. Now, here's where I'm having the issue.
Okay.
Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so the girlfriend knows 110% that she is
Mhm.
killing these people, robbing them. Okay,
Right. Hmm.
and she gets immunity.
Yeah, that yeah, that kind of bothers me too.
But I mean, if she knows that she's going out and she's doing this, but you're not reporting it, or you're just like condoning that behavior, you should be in trouble too. But instead,
Exactly.
they went ahead and she's like, we'll offer you immunity if you can get her to confess. Now, this
Hmm.
is my all-time favorite. Okay, we all
Hmm.
know those commercials on TV about injury lawyers or whatever kind of lawyers that they have.
Right.
Okay, so this guy, Lee found this guy. Okay, this lawyer, mind you, I I love the little curly hair he had going on. You know, I
That's
really
what's
did.
up.
I did. Okay,
Right. It was cute.
it was cute. It's got just I love guys with girls little curly hair, but that's
Right.
besides the point.
Cool.
So she finds this guy. Okay,
Hmm.
and okay, I'm just gonna recommend probably not finding anybody on TV. Okay, especially with cheesy commercials. Okay, maybe they have really good
Exactly.
commercials that may work, but this guy had a very cheesy commercial, and he
Correct.
didn't even have an office. He worked out of his house.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
There are so
and
many people that do that in California.
I mean, I didn't really even know what to say. So this guy does this
Right.
documentary, and this guy's on there, and he's smoking marijuana. All right, before he goes in to interview her, because she's already caught, and to basically tell her that she needs to confess to these murders.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, she comes up with these crazy stories, these absolutely crazy stories at the fact that I mean, to
Yes.
have the imagination of someone like that, like, I mean, that is just the craziest thing at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
it is.
I could never come up with a story like that. I would have to sit there for days upon days and days and be like, okay. She
To
said that she
figure it
was,
all out.
yeah, to figure it all out. She claims that she was raped and it was self defense. Well,
Yeah. How many were there?
7.
And if you're a call girl, I mean, I get it. If you say stop, it's rape regardless.
Well, right.
But
If
it's
you could tell
kind of
somebody to
like,
stop, but they weren't even
right,
getting to that point. She was just killing them.
right. She was just killing them.
Yeah, she was just killing
Well,
them.
maybe one guy like got to her before she got to him. I don't know.
And that's a very good possibility. But she did, in an interview, did say, she goes, I just want to let my victims' families know that it wasn't rape, it wasn't self-defense. I killed them because of their cars and their money.
Right.
At
Just
least
wanted
she
the
had
rough.
the at least she, made it right at that point.
Right.
Um,
She even said she was sorry, believe it or not.
she did. She did say she was sorry. And I will say that there was something that really got me when I did watch like her interview. And I
Hmm.
know you and I discussed this as well. She said, everybody's got a little bit of evil in them. And I was like,
Hmm.
she's 110% right.
It's true. We all do. It's just
I mean,
whether we choose to act on it.
I'm not saying that like we're evil to the point that we're going to kill somebody, but I think that
Right.
like we have, uh, whether it be
I
gossip
think
or whatever it is, maybe
I
gossip
think if
is more
I
so.
think if you snap, that everybody could be a killer at some point. If you mentally snap. I believe it's already there in the back of our heads, but it's not something that we act on. But then when something goes wrong in our brain and it's like, oh, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like activate. Killer activate. I'm sorry.
I don't think that there's like a button that you press. It's like, okay, I'm going to activate this now. But I
No.
definitely, I, def- I definitely understand what she is saying now. I think that we all have a little bit of evil. Okay. For an example,
Right.
let's say that we get into a fight. Okay. And I'm just going to use you for an
Mhm.
example. Okay.
Mhm.
I am one of those people that I will find the
Oh my
littlest
god.
thing, and I will go for it. I'm like a chihuahua, and I just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going because I'm like, if she's gonna hurt my feelings, I'm gonna hurt her feelings. Like it's just it's. I know that sounds crazy, but if you think about it,
I
there's
get no,
evil.
I know people like that.
But I think you have
There
to.
there's a there are pills for people like that. I'm just kidding. Let me stop. But see, and I'm the kind of person when someone starts acting like that, I just ignore them and shut down.
I was just using you for an
And it
example,
might make
okay?
them angrier. No, I know, but I'm just saying like
But
I've learned that you you can't argue with yourself. So if I leave you arguing, eventually you're gonna be quiet because I'm
no,
not
I
gonna
gotta.
say
Then
nothing.
you know what? Honestly, I would have to be with somebody that like I could just argue to the death with. Okay,
You
like
would you would probably throw something at me like you clean, you're gonna talk now.
okay, but I
I'm
mean,
just kidding.
if you think about it, like, and I was just using it for an example. Okay,
I know, I
I'm
know.
not that vicious of a person. I wouldn't. I mean, I
I'm kidding.
um, I'm really not. I'm one of those people. My
Just
feelings get hurt, but I'm not gonna go ahead and hurt somebody else's feelings in the process of it.
right,
As
right.
much as
You're
you
a good
want to,
person.
I know, right?
Yes, you are.
um, but like I said, she's right. I think we all have a little bit of evil in us.
I do. I
Regardless of what
agree.
it is, whether we snap or not, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to kill somebody, but I think we all do have a little bit of evil and sneakiness and whatever else in there.
Right.
But I think where I'm having the issue is the girlfriend knowing that she's killing all these people, and it's basically, screw you, I'm going to make sure that I'm stuck in a hotel, I'm going to make sure that you have my private number, and
Right.
you are going to confess. um
Mhm.
And I think that's crappy because at
And
the same time, she knew. And then
right.
she gets to go and live her life. And Lee is, they gave her, they gave her death. She was ready to go. She was ready to
Right.
meet her maker. And not many
Yeah,
people are like that. I mean,
that's true.
she did say that she wanted to go, but she also
Yeah.
did say that she was coming back.
Well, I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully, if she comes back, she's not a serial killer anymore. Maybe she's going away and they're gonna fix it and then bring her back.
I don't think that that's how
I'm
that
just
works.
kidding.
I don't know.
Right. I don't
I'm
know
not saying
either.
that she couldn't come back. That's not what I'm saying.
As
I
it
guess.
goes.
Well, I mean,
She did she did say that she asked God to allow her to become her girlfriend's guardian angel
mhm.
after she died.
Because I know that she did love her girlfriend, and she bluntly said, she goes, "I will
Mhm.
always love her. I will miss her, and I don't blame her for anything that she did." because I really do believe
Mhm.
that she did love her that much that
Right.
he didn't want her in trouble at the end of the day.
E
And I guess
exactly.
the truth of the matter is we could probably all in our entire lives find somebody that loves us that much to say, well, I love you that much, even though
Right.
I killed for you.
Right.
Just don't do
But I
that.
love
Okay.
you.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, if you really, really think about it, it's the truth. I mean, there was no hard feelings. She said she found God. But she did actually say in court, that we were all going to hell and she was the only one in heaven that's going to heaven. So that was
And well, yeah.
my
I
favorite
I
part.
have a thing with all don't get me wrong. I mean, I believe people can find God and
Hmm.
whatnot, but it seems like every inmate is innocent and every inmate finds God or Allah or somebody.
Whatever religious preference that they have.
Exactly. Right.
But
Exactly.
and I'm not saying that she wasn't religious because she very well could have been. But I mean, do you believe that, like, because of the way that she grew up, is why she went ahead and killed? Because we all know she hated men. At this point, we can all guarantee that she absolutely hated men.
Right. Well, I mean, she didn't have. If it's true that her brother did what he did, and then her father kicks her out,
No, her
I mean,
grandpa, because her father
or
wasn't.
her grand. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Her father wasn't even present, was he?
no, because remember he was a pedophile who was in
That's
prison, and then he hung
right.
himself. Yeah, that was a proven fact.
Yeah. I
Um,
still wonder if he did something to her, and
I don't
that's why
I
they get
from
into
what
the
I'm
grandparent.
understanding is she never, and this is just allegedly, that she
Right.
never met him. And let's say, I mean, I know that there was speculation about her grandpa, sexually abusing her. I couldn't really find
Okay.
anything on that, but I did hear a family
Gotcha.
friend, according to her, has, molested her at one point. So, I mean, all this trauma going on in
Right.
your life, and if it's by men, I mean, I could understand where she hates men, but I think if
Right.
she had like the proper upbringing, I think she could have
Upbringing.
been a better person and maybe not killing men or, being a hooker or whatever the situation may be.
Yeah, I wonder if her girlfriend like egged her on, like,
I
hey,
thought
let's
about
hang tonight.
that
We need some more money.
because here's the thing. The cops, there was some cops, and this is where we forgot about the movie thing. Um,
Right.
there was cops that got in trouble because they wanted to actually take her life and make it into a movie. And
Mhm.
Tyra um got a movie deal, and from what I'm understanding, that's how the movie Monster was made.
Oh, wow. So she basically
She
didn't
took
get jail time and she got paid
Yeah.
for watching her girlfriend kill people.
But here's the thing, now she's, like, from what I'm understanding, living in Pennsylvania, just living her best life and living, well, low key, probably low key living her best life. Um,
Right.
but you're always gonna be that person's girlfriend. You're always, I mean, not girlfriend, but you're always gonna be part of that whole situation at the end of the day.
Of course. Of course.
Your life is now
Yeah,
played out on screen, and it looks like you're egging it on. So,
exactly.
I mean, because you've seen the movie, I've seen the movie. And it does look like, "Oh, what are we gonna do about money? What are we gonna do about money? You're gonna have to go hook again."
Exactly.
Because remember,
Right.
she wanted a real job and she had no experience for a real job
Mhm.
besides
She
becoming.
really didn't.
She didn't.
Yeah.
I
Just a
mean,
hooker.
yeah, if she wanted to turn her life around, there's not much, I mean, that she could do.
Yeah, that's true.
But she was basically supporting her girlfriend, and her girlfriend knew what was going on. That girlfriend didn't care at the end of the day.
Is it too soon to talk about the sentencing?
Oh, let's talk about that. You go right ahead, because I feel like I've just been talking and talking, and you're just.
Hey, no, it's fine. We just want to talk about she did get sentencing. She admitted that she was guilty. Did you want to speak on her lawyer?
I already spoke on the crazy one. The one from the commercial.
Right,
She
right.
got a new lawyer.
Yeah. So anyway, she was sentenced to death, and she was sentenced to death 6 times. And like Reenie was saying, you can only die once, so pretty bad. But six death sentences. I don't think I know of anyone else who's gotten anything
Oh yeah,
worse
there's
than
plenty.
that. Do
No,
you?
there's been plenty of people that's like, okay, you could have 10 death sentences, right? Again, you can
Really?
only die
What?
one time, right? But that's just how they do it.
Exactly.
You're not going to come back and you're going to be on death row again. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just common sense. Um,
Right.
but it's basically saying you're not getting off death row because she did say that there was like a 1% chance that she could get off death row. And she said, I'm not going to be able to. And she was
Right.
110% right. Okay. She just wanted somebody to
Right.
sign off on it and say, let's do this. And
Yeah, that's true.
and you can't really blame her because she was sitting there for 10 years,
Yeah,
knowing that
that's a
she was
long
going to
time.
die. And she wanted to die. She was ready at the end of the day. She really was ready. But she had so
I
many
prob
outbursts in court. It's like, and I feel like if she was heard a little bit more, and I feel like she never really was heard that much.
Yeah, I noticed that too. They didn't really I think they because they just, they knew she was crazy, allegedly. So, they yeah, I don't think they really took the time to really listen to anything she was trying to say.
No, but even when they did, okay, she made up a bullshit story. Excuse me, my language.
Yeah, she was
They
she
made
was making up a lot
She
of
was
crazy
making up.
stuff.
I mean, she was making up a story, and she did an interview, and she did say, I have to come clean. I did this. I was never raped. It was never in self defense. Okay, but I
Right.
guess my thing is, if it was in self defense, it would kind of be hard to prove.
True.
I mean,
Yeah,
because
you
you are.
can't
I mean,
really prove it.
and you are a hooker. I know that sounds crazy to say, like, oh, you're a hooker,
No,
so nobody's
true.
gonna believe you. Okay, but
But I
unless you're
hate
gonna
to
go
say it, but
report it and saying, "Hey, I'm a hooker and I'm having this problem." Like I killed somebody in self-defense.
right.
They're
Well, I
probably going
mean,
to think that she wasn't going to be taken seriously at the end of the day. Let's be
right.
honest. She probably wasn't.
They don't have the greatest rapport with the police officers either, unless that's a client. But as far as I know, there weren't any police officers killed, so I think we're good.
There was a retired one,
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, see, it was because he was retired.
but
He
you
didn't
would
have his gun
assume, why are you
on.
picking up a hooker?
Exactly. They do that. There's some that aren't retired that do, allegedly.
I understand what you're saying. I mean, I don't know, but I don't
You would
know.
think their morals would be better.
Don't get me started on some of that. Okay. I'm just,
Excuse me.
I'm just saying
You're choking me up.
that. Sorry. So I guess
Okay.
we should wrap this up. I mean, I know we started a little later, but we should wrap this up.
Right.
Next week, we are going to talk, and I'm going to have Diane again. I am going to talk about one of my absolute favorite cases. And I know that sounds so crazy that I even have a favorite case.
Hey, we all do.
That makes me weird.
Just a little bit. No,
Okay.
I'm kidding.
The Ken and Barbie killers, Carla Homolka, Paul Bernardo. Little backstory, real quick. They're a married couple who basically rape girls. But we'll get into that next week. It is one of my favorite cases. And if you guys want to go ahead, and there is a movie on that on Lifetime, true story, called Carla.
And
I watch
called
a lot of movies.
Marla?
Carla.
Carla. Okay.
Carla, yeah,
With
it's
a K.
with a
With
K,
a K?
with a K.
Okay.
And you can find, their stuff on YouTube, whatever. It's a very interesting case, in my opinion, and it is one of my favorites. I shouldn't have one, but I do. Um, I don't know. I just,
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
it's one of my favorites. I could talk about that for hours and hours upon. But
Yeah, what? Hey, I'll be picking some favorites too for you.
thank
I
you.
might pick another woman serial killer.
Oh well, yeah, because honestly, if you think about it, like it's always men. Like
Right.
men are so popular. Like when it comes to killing people for some weird reason, and I know that sounds horrible to say if you think
Right.
about it, because women
Allegedly, men are crazy. I
women
don't
are
know.
crazy. But if you think about it, like most women, they don't just go out and really kill people. I was actually reading
Right.
something online that most women will try to poison people before they do anything else.
Exactly. Put a little something in the pie. Have a little piece of this, honey.
Right, exactly. And
How
that
do you
to
want
me,
your
that's
eggs?
like, wow, like I guess I never really thought about that. And I guess, and there was another question that somebody has already asked me before, like how many killings do they have to be a serial killer? Three or more. One
Yeah.
doesn't count.
Yeah,
Three or
three or
more.
more.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So basically, wait, does it count if you kill two people and yourself? Did you serial kill yourself?
I don't think that works.
I laugh too much.
I don't think, no, like you have to you have to keep going because but I did, oh my gosh, I forgot to say this too. Um, Arlene Warnos did say that if she wasn't locked up, she would continue killing people.
Oh
I did
yeah.
forget to say that. She did say that. Which is, at least she could
Yeah,
admit that she had a problem at the end of the day.
exactly. There's a lot of killers that admit that. It's crazy.
I don't know,
And
if
I
I was
think
a
those
killer,
people
I would be like, I didn't do it. Okay, I didn't do it.
exactly. I'd be like, just let me back out. See
I
what
didn't do it.
happens.
I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Right.
I
I
didn't
mean,
do
if
it.
you're a killer, you're a killer. Why would, oh, like you said, at least she admitted that she was, because she could have, well, no, she couldn't have. I was going to say she could have gotten out of jail and did it again, but no.
No, she she
No.
she bluntly said, and this isn't even alleged. This is just what she said. She did say, if I was still out, I would be killing. So if I wasn't caught,
Yeah.
I'd still be killing. And at least she recognized that in herself. So, but
Yeah.
I mean,
And at least at the end, she like admitted to everything she did
and I
and
think it's time.
apologized. Not that it makes anything better, but an apology is better than nothing.
But she did deserve the death penalty at the end of the day, because she really did. I felt bad for her younger
Mhm.
years, but the death penalty was definitely something that she did deserve. I've said this on another show. I mean, other shows that I've had, I said I believe in the death penalty. And I know that
Right.
a lot of people will say, "Oh my gosh, what is your problem?" I don't have one. That's just what I believe, and everybody's entitled to their own
Right.
opinions.
I believe
Um,
in it.
but until next week, we will talk about the Ken and Barbie killers. My favorite case.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.